Always hate forgetting that. Okay, looks like the recorder has started. So again, hello and welcome, whether you're watching this live or if you're watching this on the replay. Either way, I'm so glad you're here. Today's webinar is how to fix the top 5 gaps in Dynamics NAV manufacturing. Now, there's probably a few more than that, and you may even have some specific gaps that, oh my gosh, I wish it could do this and I wish it could do that. Let me know what those are. And maybe we do have solutions that maybe I'm just not covering today. So if you have certain things that you want that I don't get covered today, fear not. Just let me know and what they are, and I'll see if we have a solution for that. Maybe we do, maybe we don't. Just don't know. Okay, so let's get started. Got a lot to cover in 60 minutes. So I'm going to scroll down. Ben sent this study guide to most of you before the webinar. I think it went out this morning. So here are the 5 gaps, and there's probably more than just 5, but I'm going to take you through just 5 to begin with. So gap number 1 is NAV manufacturing out of the box. I don't think it's quite enough. With all due respect to Microsoft, I think there is some user friendliness that is missing from the interface and some key improvements specifically for manufacturing that could be put into the software. And our solution called Manufacturing Plus, this is an add-on product for NAV manufacturing, solves several of these issues. And I'm going to show you 4 of them here this morning. So the first thing is a role center. I'm going to bring this up live in just a second. Let me just scan through this real quick here. We're going to take a look at expected cost and actual cost. This is in your handout, so I'm going to put this up on the screen and walk through this. Also, production order quick menu, I'm going to talk about that, and also the embedded Gantt chart view. So I'm going to show you all 4 of these things, and maybe one other. I just thought of one other I'd kind of like to show too. Okay, so let me just move this out of the way here. Just push that over. Okay, so the first thing is the role center. This is your home page, right? So it's real important that you design this in such a way that it's friendly to the users. You want to be sure that you've got your stoplights, red, green, and amber on here working properly to meet your requirements. You want to be sure you've got easy access to putting in new planned orders and new firm, new released orders, easy access there. You want to look at your ribbon to be sure that your ribbon is clearly laid out for the things that you do in your business. Your menu down the left side, easy access to contacts, customers, vendors, items, main applications here, as well as your inventory, your product design, capacities, journals. If you're not laying out your role center, something like this, then you really need to take a look at Manufacturing Plus, because this is the way it comes out of the box when you purchase the Manufacturing Plus from us. Notice too, I've got my production, the 4 types of production orders. I don't put the finished production orders here, just the simulated, planned, firm planned, and released production orders right there on the role center. I think it's real important how you lay out these role centers. Sales orders, purchase orders, everything I've available right here on the screen. Let's drill down into our release production orders, and I'll show you number B here, which is the expected cost versus the actual cost. Go down to one that's got some. Here we go. Okay, so this is our list of production orders. You've probably seen something like this before, although you may not have what I have on the right side, which is obviously a little chart I've added in. That's covered in a charting webinar that I do as well. But the main thing I want you to see is when you're on a production order, you can see immediately the expected cost and the actual cost. I think it's important for all of you on the call, look at your screens and be sure that you can see the expected cost. That's including the material cost, capacity cost, any subcontract cost and totals, and the cost per unit based on how many units you're producing on that production order. so you know what the cost each is. And then the actual costs down here during the life of that production order is you're purchasing materials, you're posting labor. We're going to talk a lot about labor today. Subcontract invoices, all those things might come in to give you a total actual cost, which is often different than the expected cost of a given production order. So you want to have that clearly displayed on your screen. If your screens don't look like mine, don't worry about that. You just have to call me and say, Rick, my screen didn't look like your screen. I want mine to look like that. So I want to have my screen just like this, and which is what I want to encourage you to do, why I hope you're here today. And so this is how I like to show a list of production orders. Let's open this one up and just take a peek at it as well. So I'm going to edit this production order. So here is, and this is, again, I'm just using the standard bicycle sample data. So this is the production order. I like to put this released information right here on screen. It reminds me, and I know it's up here, released production orders, but I think if it's on screen, it's big and bold. It just helps you define that you're on a release production order. Also notice that the expected cost and actual cost also shows here, because this is the production order that you're looking at. So it makes sense to see that statistical data show right there on screen. I also like on the line information to have more information, the start dates, the quantity, the finished quantity, remaining quantity. In this case, it's 0. The standard cost and the standard cost amount based on that quantity, and then the estimated cost as well as the actual cost information is starting to show up here on screen. Again, just kind of organizing your screen, showing the BOM number, the routing number for this particular order. Now, one other thing that you see there in number C, I don't know if that's a number or not, but that's letter C, is the sub-menu ribbon, this ribbon down here. Many of you just leave it like this so that you can get to the routing this way. But quite frankly, I go to the routing so often, I find it's much more helpful to have the routing just sitting right there. And then I can just click it and I can go and I can view the information on the routing with just a visual, just a one click to get to it. So it's just organizing the menu. Same for components. Look, so I can just click on the components and I can see the material list in here as well. So easy to get to things. I think it's important to organize your screen in that way. The other thing I'll point out is some of you may not on this one. Let me go to this next production order. This one. Okay, I think it's on this one. So some of you may want to see an embedded Gantt chart view of your production order. So right along with your expected cost and actual cost and all the information, this you probably already have, but you do have the ability to have a Gantt chart view showing the work centers, each of the operations. There's 4 on this particular production order, the dates and times that the work is going to be occurring in each of those locations. The duration of the bar here represents how long it's going to take to do that particular work. So if you would like to have an embedded kind of a Gantt chart view displaying your production order, this is called Planner One. Some of you may have heard of that software before. I would encourage you to contact me and let's do a full presentation on just the scheduling portion and how this really brings to the table so much value. It's not just on one production order, it's across all the production orders to see that schedule. So it's really important to have that scheduling of functionality, which is again a gap out of the base product. There is no Gantt chart view like this. As you know, there's no, when you scroll down on your production order, you don't have this kind of view. So I would encourage you to add this in so that you do have more functionality within the base product. Okay, let me go back to the study guide, see where we are. That's the Gantt chart view. That's why I put a picture of in there. And I want to do a quick poll, so let me launch up a little poll up here on your screen. If you would be so kind as to grab your mouse and just let me know whether you could use some of these features, or if they're not for you, that's okay. Or it's a maybe, that's an acceptable answer. So just take a second here. We need everybody to vote. Vote, vote, vote. So click, take 2 seconds and just click yes, no, or maybe. Okay, 72%. I'm going to take that. I'm going to share this back with you so you see what people are saying. Not bad. 46% say they could use the feature. There's nobody that says it's not for them, so that's encouraging. And 54% of you are giving it a maybe feature. We'll see if we get better as we go along. Okay, I'm going to hide that away. And let's go to the next page. So 10-year study guide, turn to page, let me see what page it's on here. Page number 4. Okay, another gap. So I'm going to go through these gaps fairly quickly today. I'm not going to be doing training in all these gaps. I'm only going to want to expose them and make sure you're aware of the solutions that are available. So gap number 2 is that there's no employee self-service. There's no scanning capability to have the employees record their time against a production order. Now, not all manufacturers want this. I do realize that. So it only applies if in your business you would want the employees to scan their time. So the solution to this gap is we have added a granule for NAV called Manufacturing Time Entry. And what it does, it enables your employees to capture labor hours to a production order. So and it's very simple to use. I'm going to show it to you here in just a second. In fact, I've got a scanner handy and I'm going to go through the actual scanning process for you. So out of the box, let's just talk about kind of how it works now. Out of the box, it basically is you've got, you open up your production. Well, let me just show you live. So I'm here on this production order. And if you're not familiar with this, you go to what's called a production journal. And in this production journal, you come to this field right here where it's got setup and runtime for each of the operations of how much time it took to set it up and how much time it took to run that operation. You just enter those values here and then you post it. And that will then charge the production order based on the rates assigned within this work center, which I'm not sure that's the right way to do it, but that is the way it works out of the box. And it's going to then, you post that time and it updates your production order with the capacity cost. That's the actual cost of labor that went into the work for this production order. But I think there's a better way to do it. Okay, so let me kind of show you. I'm going to do a little demonstration here. I'm going to move this out of the way. So let me close this and I'm going to close that. And I want to park this out of the way as well. So here's my screen. So I'm going to open this up. So this is what you would have out on the shop floor. So out on the shop floor, no NAV. So you would have no Dynamics NAV, no Navision software on their screen. You would only have this form. That's it. And you would probably have a scanner. In fact, I'm going to turn on my webcam. Bear with me just a minute, see if you can see me here. Hopefully I'll move me down here. So, okay. So here's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to basically kind of simulate what you would have on the shop floor. So the first thing you see up here is the employee ID. So they would come to the first thing they're going to do. Where's my scanner? Here it is. So I'm going to use my scanner and I've got a list. Can you see that right there? So I've got a list with Linda and Mark on it. This is my employee list, and I'm just going to scan Linda's badge. Okay, and you'll see it puts Linda's name up there at the top. Can you see that on the screen right there? Okay, and then next thing they would scan is a production order. Oh, I didn't print this out for you. I'll print this so you can see what this would look like. But this is my, can you see that? I hope you can see that okay. That is my traveler. And so what they would be doing then with the traveler is they would just come and they would scan then the production order for that traveler. Hello. Okay, so make sure I'm in the right field here. Okay, come on. So it scanned a minute ago. All right, so I'm going to do it this way. In case the scanner doesn't work, I'm going to do it this way. So I'm going to come in and I can select off the list. Okay, and then let's see if the operation will scan. I don't know why that wouldn't scan. So let me go in here and scan an operation. That worked perfectly. So here's the operation, which is the CNC operation. That's right off of this job traveler that they typically put in their these sleeves. Most of the time they put in some sort of sleeve like this to protect it because it gets greasy or dirty out on the shop floor. So Linda is now clocking in. She's about to clock in to this new production order. And you'll see down here is clock in and clock out. Well, we've even went ahead on that and created a little sheet. Can you see this? Let me see if you can get this on here. Yeah, right over here. It says clock in. And so I'm just going to scan that barcode. And that's the, it must be the light. Okay, so there. Okay, so she clocks in. And I had to use my mouse. I'm not sure why the barcode wouldn't scan. So now she walks away from the terminal, goes off and is working on that particular operation. Then somebody else comes back up here, and let's say Mark comes in. We'll scan the badges. So Mark comes up. And is he clocked in or does he need to clock in? So he's not clocked in. So we're going to clock Mark in to this same production order, maybe doing something else. And come on. That's disappointing. Okay, so it's not clocking me in for some reason. Not sure why. Okay, and then the operation, let's see if we can put him on a different operation, the paint station. Here we go, paint station. And then he clocks in. So he just boom clocks in. Then he walks away from the terminal, and now both of them are working. Now you would have several of these out around the shop. So you would have several of these stations where people are working, and then when they're finished, let's say Mark has finished, so Mark's going to come back up and scan his badge again. Now it's going to realize at this stage that he's already, you can see it right here, already clocked into this production order. So all he has to do, and notice the timer's going here, so it's going to clock him out, and that way it kind of captures the elapsed time that he worked. And now I can use Mark's rate, either pay rate or probably a shop rate to charge that time on the job. Okay, that's simple to do. So I'm going to go away for a minute. So that gives you an idea of this concept of basically using a barcoded traveler of some sort that we provide with the software, and then you have this entry screen. That's why I put a printout of it in your handout so you can remember this after the webinar, that this is where they can clock in, clock out. They can, I didn't show you this, but they can view their entries. They can also record that the operation is complete. So if they finish a particular operation, they can record that there and basically do the whole thing right from their screen. So, okay, so that is manufacturing time entry. So let's see, I'm curious. I'm going to put up another poll here, And let's see if anybody on the call thinks that they could use something like that. So, let me know if it's a potential for you and your business to have some kind of time collection system, scanning time against a production order. This is, now I have a similar system for jobs, so we may have some people on the call that use the jobs or job manager software, and that is available for it's going to ask for the job number, not the production order number, but it's very similar. We've got everybody wants to vote. Quick. I'm going to close out the polls. All right, so let's see what they said. I'm going to share this back with you. And actually, this is quite good. 57% of you said that you could use this kind of feature in your business. So that's very good. And 43% said maybe, and nobody said not for you. So excellent. Thank you very much for the voting on that. And at the end, I'll be telling you about the pricing on all these things, and I do have a special offer for you as well. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. I often forget to clear the screen. All right, so let's go on to gap number 3 here. Oh, now I think I know what I did. I didn't switch databases. I think I know why that scanning didn't work. Oh my goodness. Oh well. Okay, number 3 is quality control. Many of you need to be able to test either a raw material that's coming in your building and you want to be sure it meets certain quality standards for use in your business, or you're producing a finished good, and the finished good, before you ship it to the customer, you want to check its quality to be sure that it meets your specifications. And if it does, if it passes, then you're able to ship it to your customers. Okay, so there is no quality control out of the box. You've probably realized that by now. So the solution is to add a granule, okay, an add-on product. You know, it's an add-on. You do have to buy it for quality control, and you can start testing right away when you do that. So the router, there's a picture here in your handout that shows the router. There is one little place, if you have to really dig, it's called quality measures, and this is where you can put in the weight or the height or the pH value or something, and some min and max values, but there's really no place to actually record the actual test results, so that if you're doing testing, there's no place to actually record the test results out of the box. So what we want to do here is install a complete quality control add-on to your software to give you full testing capabilities. Let's go, let me move this out of the way and we'll show you what that looks like. And then we're done with that. And I'll bring Nav back up on the screen. Okay, so and I think I've got the right database. So I'm going to go to my departments menu, and yeah, it's here. So I'll just show you where it is. So here's my quality control section. I have specifications, specification by item, by customer, lot number information. I'm going to start with the results here, which is the testing. So you're going to have a list of all the quality tests that you've done. Let me just bring one up on screen. This is a certified test. So I'm just going to edit this test, and so you can see what was tested. So, and I'm not going to go through a whole training process on quality control. Do understand that, guys. This is just so that you're aware this functionality exists. A lot of times people aren't even aware, oh my gosh, I didn't know there was quality control available for my NAV software, and yes, there is, okay? So here it is. This is where you put in a test. So this is quality control test number 2. This is the product number that I'm testing. So I'm testing this cable. There's a picture of the cable that I'm testing here. And then I tested for these things. In this case, I'm testing for appearance, density, and length. Now, you may have a huge list. In fact, let me see. I think I've got another item that's got more items that I'm testing. Here's an in-process test. Yeah, looky here. So here I'm testing for appearance, density, height, speed, temperature, and hardness. So I'm testing all sorts of things here on this particular item, and it's per item. So every item is going to have different things that you test for. Okay, and this one is for a specific lot number, so you can test for a lot number or serial number, depending on the nature of your business. We'd have to discuss that as you talk to us more about the about your needs for quality control. But this is where you actually enter down here. You're going to be entering the speed or the temperature. Now you see these first ones, I've already completed these tests. And there's also visuals. See, I can look up a list. That one may, yeah. So I can actually look up to a list where I've done a visual inspection. And it could be some items, that's all you need. Some items may just have one visual inspection and you put the results in and you're done and you go on. Others you may have, 5 or 6 line items that you need to test for. You'll know better than me what your test items are. So share if you have somebody that should see this that's not in your that's not in this webinar. The replay will be available and they can watch this, or I can send you to a link for a more in-depth demonstration. Notice too, there is stored here the lower limits and upper limits for each of these test measures. So every time you're measuring this particular item, you can have predefined what your expected values are. And then if something is out of range of those expected values, then you're going to get this non-conformance warning over here that says, oops, this line item, in fact, that may mean the whole item, is non-conforming and that it doesn't pass your inspection. Let me go back, and I just thought of one other thing I need to show you here. I'm going to go back to this one, which is certified. This is a certified test. When it's certified, you can print what's called a certificate of analysis. So many of you want to have a document that you can typically give. Let me bring this up on screen a little bigger here. Zoom in, there you go. So this is a C of A for this cable. It's got the start date, the test numbers here. I tested one. The lot number, where's my lot number? Should show the lot number here somewhere. Oh, here's where it would be if there was a lot number. And then these are the test results. This is the normal values, and then the actual test results are shown here. And then there's a place for the supervisor, quality supervisor, to sign off and date the document itself. Now, so I don't know if everybody goes to this level of detail. Some of you might, where you need to print a document or print a testing worksheet. You can print a worksheet, put it on a clipboard, and go out and test the items, record the test results, and then come back in and enter the results here later on the screen. So this is a simple method of recording. That's what quality testing is about. Okay, recording the test results. Now, I'm not going to be able to, in this short webinar, take you through every single functionality of this software, how it ties in with purchase orders, how it ties in with your sales orders and shipping, but it does all those things. And if you'd like more information on this, I would certainly encourage you to basically pick up the phone and say, Rick, I need more information about your quality control functionality. I hope you like it. That's just a peek. Let's see what you think. So if you'd be so kind, let me know if this applies to you or not. Would you be able to utilize this feature? Or it's a maybe or maybe not. So we'll just kind of see. I'm not sure everybody does quality testing in their manufacturing. And I know that is a pretty big gap in the out-of-the-box solution. There is no quality place where you can record those test results. So we've added that in. Okay, so I'm getting the results about like I would expect. Let me close the poll out and I'll share it back. Kind of what I'd expect. 20, almost 30% said they could use this feature, and 71% are a maybe. And there's nobody that's saying it's not for me. So maybe that button's not working. I don't know. Okay, so let's go back and move to number 4. So number 4, what do we got here? Okay, another gap. This is a big gap. So there is no engineering change management. You've often maybe heard referred to it as ECOs, where engineering change orders, where you actually kind of review a change to a bill of materials. Out of the box, and this is kind of the picture of it here. The bill of material is pretty much wide open. You can just go in. Let me zoom in a little bit here. See if I can do this. Okay, so here's the bill of materials, and the status right now is certified, but there's nothing to stop you from changing the certified status to under development, and then going down here and changing some quantities or adding new line items to your bill of materials. I mean, it is what I call wide open right out of the box. Not good. Okay, a lot of people want more control to how a change is made to your bill of material. You really want to go through a process of changing a bill of material. So we've added a front end to this, to these production order bill of materials that enables you to kind of record some information, get some approvals, and then submit it and make a change. So let me, I'm going to open up the live screen. I've got a picture of it here, but I want you to see it live in the software. So let me move this out of the way. We're going to go back to home. And okay, and I think I've got to switch to this database. Hold on. Okay. So here's my engineering change orders. Okay. Bear with me. Here we go. Okay, so I've got it right here on the screen, engineering change orders. And I've only got 2 in my samples, but that's enough. Let's kind of open this one up and see what we got. So this is where you can record. Again, it's all about recording and processing information. So this is a change order number 500, and it is to swap the hub assembly. So I'm doing some changes to that. I put in a brief description of what it is. Notice too, I've checked right here, this is multi-BOM mode. When I have this checked, that means I really want to change more than just one bill at a time. In NAV, you're going bill after bill after bill, especially if you have to swap items or make global changes to your bill of materials. That takes a lot of time to make those adjustments to the bills. So this enables you to kind of set up multiple bills. And in fact, if I move this up a little bit, you'll see it down here in the subform. In the subform, it shows a list of the bills of materials that are about to be changed. Okay, we haven't changed them yet, but these are the ones that are about to be changed. So BOM 1100 and 1200. The front wheel and the back wheel is what I've got set up. Here's the affected items, the tube, and the substitute items. So this item looks like I'm going to swap out this new item here for the items that are on that bill. So it's making this one change. The actions that you can do, you can see right here, is I can add items to these bills. Okay, it's not just one bill, it's multiple bills. I can remove items or I can change items. So all done here once you kind of do this carry out, once you decide you're ready to carry this thing out and affect that change. So a couple little things I'll mention on this process, and you can see the header information, the effective dates, and those kind of things. But down here, how you want it to applies to all ECM lines. Do you want to create new BOM versions or just and recertify the BOM when you do? So in other words, a lot of people like to have a version change every time you make a change to your bill of materials. So we wanted to make that all automatic. And so all you have to do now is just have this checked so that when you say carry out the ECM actions, it will actually create it. It's not just editing the existing BOM, it's literally creating a brand new bill of materials and assigning the next version number to it and certifying it if this is checked as well when you carry this out. Makes sense, right? Oh, there's one other thing I guess I need to mention too. Some of you may want to have this go through an approval process. So we use the NAV workflow, and you can send this through the approval request system so that maybe a manager or production manager reviews this bill of materials change that you're applying here, and then says, okay, that's good, and then you can go ahead and carry this out. So only if the status is approved for change, I think it's released. So then it can be changed. Okay, so it just depends on your individual circumstance whether you want to go through the approval process or not, but that's certainly a kind of a standard request with engineering change management situations. Now, the demo that I'm showing you here is for multi bill of materials. If this is checked off, then you're really just changing one specific bill of material. It could still go through the approval process, okay, before you carry it out and affect that change. But it's the same process. So it's either doing a single bill that you're wanting to go through approvals or not. You can print these out. We keep a history of all these changes in the history files, and there's quite a bit more to it that I'm kind of skipping over here, but I just wanted you to get a sense for that it is available. A lot of people don't even know this kind of functionality of having engineering change orders is available for your NAV software. You just think, oh, that's a gap. It doesn't have that functionality. Well, when you see these gaps in your software, I want you to kind of go, oh, well, maybe there's some functionality out there that will do these things. You just have to do a little searching, and in fact, you'll find that functionality is available. So let's see if anybody out there has an application for ECM. So let me know if you could use this feature, or maybe not, or if it's not for you, that's fine too. Take just a second. You just there's a little white dot up there. You just take your mouse and click on that and let me know whether you think this might be a good feature for you or not. Okay, 68%. Anybody else want to vote in here real quick? Okay, nope, close the poll. You got to be quick. Okay, I'll share it back with you with 31%. Actually, that's a little higher than I thought it would be, but that's okay. Said that they could use this feature, and 70% of you almost said that it's a maybe. So that's actually quite higher than I thought it would be for this particular functionality. So that's great. And by the way, after the webinar, so stick around because I'm going to go through some pricing with you. Everybody always wants to know how much this stuff costs, so we'll cover that as well. So let me move this back. Got to be able to see my screen. Okay, so we're going to go to number 5 of 5 out of 5. So gap number 5 is I feel there's only a few usable reports. I know reporting is often a big issue for many of our manufacturers, and we felt that you should have decent reports right out of the box. And you shouldn't have to spend hours or an arm and a leg to have them built. So we provide as our solution here is we add manufacturing reports pack. So we have a whole package of reports. I think there's about 18 of them. Maybe it's 14, but there's quite a few. And this is one of them. So right here on screen, you saw me use the Traveler. This is a barcoded Traveler, comes ready to go in your reports pack. Okay, and that's one of the reports. There's another one here, the production production schedule. Let me just show this live. I think it's more interesting to see it live. So if we look at the reports up here, and we go to our manufacturing reports, this is all of them. So there's a bomb master report, a routing master. These include, which it doesn't out of the box, this includes all of the comments and the tools that go into a routing and the personnel. There's a lot of information that's on there that doesn't print in the out of the box report. You have to modify it to get it to, and we just do that. It's just done. Then the router, you saw me print that Traveler. So we have actually two versions of the Traveler, a detailed one and a simplified one. And then there's this production schedule. I think this is used quite a bit. So I'm going to open this one up. And I'll tell you where this particular report is used. If you have any kind of production meetings, where you get together either daily or weekly to kind of review how we're doing on our open production order list. This lets you see at a glance what orders are in the queue that are being worked on, the quantities, the production order number, the part number that's being produced, the bombs and the routings. All of that information is listed here, and it's all in chronological order. So it's all based on the starting date of these orders. Now, I have no clue why Microsoft did not provide this report out of the box, but there is no such thing as a master production schedule out of the box, and it seems to me that would be a very common application for our manufacturing type customers. So that's included in our reports pack. There's one other I want to show real quick here, and that is it is that trend, this one right here, called Production Trend Analysis. I love this concept. So, and let's just do it for the, just going to do the released orders, and I'll preview this on the screen. Okay, so here's the concept. Let me go down to this one here. A trend analysis says, well, if you make the same item over and over again, every one of those production orders goes into the history files. And the history files have your cost to produce on each time you produce it. So the trend lets you see, well, is the cost going up? Is the cost coming down? Every time I produce this finished good item. So this is what we call this trend analysis per item. So for every item that we produce, we can see what the costs are and whether they're going up or down over time for each of the orders that we're producing. I really feel that's a needed report. There's nothing like that in out of the box NAV. So it just made sense the data's there, but there's no report that gives that stuff to you. So so these reports come, this is the list. And if you want a list and a sample of each of these reports, let me know and I'd be glad to send you the screenshots of each of the various reports that are included in here. Capacity reports, work center reports, lots of very good statistical reports to help you manage your production. Okay, so let's see if, going to come back here, and let's see if anybody likes reporting. So give me your feedback on reporting. So is that something that you could use, or maybe some reports, or just let me know whether you think, it could be you've got all the reports already developed and you're happy with the reports as they are. So just click, and I promise this is the last poll. So this is the last poll you have to answer. So come on, everybody click, click, click. Doesn't take but a second. Okay, so kind of split on this one. I thought it would be a little higher. So 46% of you, almost 50%, so kind of 50-50, say you could use this feature of adding additional reports in there, and then 54% said maybe on this one again, but nobody's saying not for you, so that's good too. I'll mention as I'm thinking about this, if you have some specific reports that are like a wish list, like, oh, I wish you could do this, or I wish you could do that, then let me know. Because it could be that we have that report, or it's in development, or it's in my wish list as well, of things that we would like to add to the software. And often we add reports based on feedback from folks like yourself. So we're always listening to our NAV end users to kind of get a sense for what they are asking for. Okay. So the question is, and I'm going to bring up my contact information, is how much does all this software cost? So yes, there is a cost to it, and you might as well know what that is. So I'm going to bring up a special offer for you. I always like to have an offer for my attendees. So there is a cost to correct the gaps, okay? The good news, I think it's less than what you would think that this would be. So let's kind of look at all 5 of these attributes that you could add in. The first one was the Manufacturing Plus. That's the screen designs, and quite frankly, there's about 40, maybe 50 features that I can't possibly cover here today. And if you want a printout of any of this stuff, let me know, and I'll send you the complete list of all the feature functionality that we've added. It's $1,650 for that portion of it. The time entry, again, for those of you that said yes on time entry, that's also $1,650 for that add-on product. For quality control, again, for those of you that want the quality functionality, $1,650. The ECM, the engineering change management functionality, only $950 total. And that's not per user per month. That's total price. One-time shot, done. You own it. And manufacturing reports pack, if you like those reports and want a copy, don't forget, if you want a copy of those reports, just ask and I'll get that to you. If you purchase those individually, that would be a total of $6,850 to add all that stuff into your NAV software. And we do have customers that do this all the time. But because you are in this webinar, you get a special deal. I'm going to give you an early decision discount for a total 30% discount for 30 days. So I'm going to take off $2,055 off of that price. That's 30% of that for a decision in the next 30 days. So this is the 22nd. So by September the 22nd, you've got to get your order into me. So you've got to call and say, Rick, I want this. Don't realize these are still available individually. So you can get any one of these. If you just want quality control, not a problem, but there is no quantity discount when you buy just a quality control. Or if you just want the time entry piece, that's certainly available, and it can be added easily to almost any version of your manufacturing system. Okay, so Demi is asking, can I get the functional breakdown of the manufacturing and the time entry? Absolutely. I'll send you that information after I've been sending that out to you right after the webinar today. Okay, so let me just get my contact information up here so you know how to reach me if you have questions. Again, my name is Rick Baxter. That's my picture, and you saw me live there a minute ago. That is the from Cost Control Software. Hey, I'm located in Carmel, Indiana. If anybody's driving through Indiana, swing by. We'd love to take you to lunch or something, and we'd like to meet our customers. And that's our phone number. That's my email. Most of you have my email or Ben's email when you got this webinar invitation. You can always ask us questions or request special information. So I'm going to open this up for any kind of additional questions. If you have questions or comments on this, I'm going to put these prices back up on the screen. You can just slip them into the question box. If we don't get any, we'll close out, but I think we'll probably get a couple questions here. Demi already asked if she can get a copy of the details of the Manufacturing Plus. Yes, we'll send that to you. And the manufacturing time entry. I've got brochures on all these products, and I think they're all the brochures I think are available on the website as well, but I'll send them to you individually just to be sure you get it. Okay, so Alan is asking what versions of NAV is your software compatible with? Great question. So we've been doing this now for about 18 years, hard to believe. I started just after 2000. So I've been selling these add-on products now a long time, and we have versions going back to even back in Classic, but we support almost every single version that NAV has come out with. Certainly all the major releases, let's put that way. Felipe says, with the manufacturing reports pack, do we have to pay additional costs for the objects or not? No, this is the whole thing. It's $950 plus the annual maintenance. There is a 16% maintenance on all of our products, just like Microsoft has. But there's no object cost that's included because all of these products have gone through the Microsoft certification process, and so because they're all certified for Microsoft, there is no additional license cost to run the reports or to run the engineering change management. That's all included. Great question. Okay, Michael says, hello, are these costs one time or annual? I wish they were annual, but they're not. They're one time. So the manufacturing, the time entry, that's one time. You buy it once. It's not per user per month. It's not per company. It is buy it once, and that is the price. Now, we may be changing our pricing model as we move into Business Central. We haven't quite decided that yet, what the pricing will be with the new releases coming this fall. But as of right now, they are a one-time purchase and includes all the object costs too. Thank you for that question. Julie says, I missed a portion of the webinar. Do you have a recording? Yes, this is being recorded, and Ben will send it out to everybody either late today or tomorrow. Anthony says, do you include training or user guides? We have manuals. We have definitely 3 very nice manuals on every one of these granules. So every granule has how to install it, how to configure it, and how to use it. As well as there is free training on our website. It's kind of overview training. And then if you want one-on-one training for manufacturing, now that you mentioned that, let me I'll show you one other little thing here. Let me bring up my browser. In fact, I'm glad you asked that. So I'm going to go to our academy. So many of you may not be aware, but we have costcontrolacademy.com, which basically has lots of courses. Now, we do charge for these. These are our more advanced courses. So like getting started with Dynamics NAV. This is a 1-year access to this course, and it covers all sorts of things about Dynamics NAV, just the very basics. So if you have somebody new coming on board that needs to learn NAV, this is the way to go. Now, since most of you are here because of manufacturing, we also have a course specific to NAV manufacturing. So if you need to know about bills of materials, routers, versions, capacities, calendars, all the things for manufacturing, that's covered in this course. It's $8.95 and it gives you a 1-year access. So for $8.95, I don't know how if you had a consultant come out, it'd be $8.95 for a day. And with this one, you have a whole year access and you can watch these things, all these segments. Let me just open this up. I just love the way this works. So you get at this course, and let me see if I can scroll down here and you can see some of the curriculum. So here's gets into setups. manufacturing setup, capacities, work centers, machine centers, the routings, bill of materials, all of this is covered. Putting it together, calculate standard cost, printing the traveler, creating demand, the production forecast, fulfilling demand, all of this is covered in this class. This is a huge class, all on NAV manufacturing. So if you have anybody new coming on board in your company that needs to learn about manufacturing, this course is available to you. It's called Getting Started with NAV Manufacturing, and it's only $8.95. So we got lots of these courses available. It's called CostControlAcademy.com is where it is. Okay. Great question. Do you include training? So there's some basic training. Do be aware on our website there is some basic training too. So you can go to Cost Control, our software website. This is our website here. And these are all the training classes. But if you go to, let's say you wanted to go to quality control. So you can come here to quality control, and from here you can download a brochure on quality control, and there's a nice video here as well. This is free, that gives you a nice overview of how to use the quality control software. Just click and you got to log in, but you can watch this video, and there's more information here and a brochure to download as well. Okay, so that's a good question. Let's see if I got any others. How long does it cost at one time? Julie says, off the topic, but do you have any modules to help maintain master data? Dimensions, attributes? No, I haven't. Good question. Julie wants to know if I've got other granules on maintaining master files. I haven't really done anything along those lines. I appreciate the question, though. Okay, guys, I think that's I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you all very much. I appreciate your attention for the last 60 minutes, learning about some of this this functionality. It's all available. Call me, ask questions, send me an email, call Ben, whatever. Hope you liked what you saw today. Let's stay in touch. Thanks so much. Have a great day.